What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling amazing today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just fantastic, Cancer. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot cards for its base of our ruler here, the ghetto moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in. Cancer, where do you watch the moon from? I'm just thinking about it. I'm always telling you about where I'm seeing the moon from. Where do you normally see the moon from? Do you catch her outside? Do you catch her peeking through your window? How's that looking for you, Cancer? How do you connect with the moon? But I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void, of course, all those lunar shenanigans. Got better. See, I'm getting better about getting back on track there, Cancer. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never first reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. All right, Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Jupiter Day. Hope you're feeling expansive. Jupiter rules over Thursdays, Big Papa. And hopefully you're feeling expansive. Hope you're feeling optimistic about your week. Maybe count the things that you're grateful for there. Cancer, shower yourself in just affirmations of abundance. And this is a great energy for sharing, or a great day. And you know what, if you just happen, if you know, down in the description box, there is this app, Nomad, that has these calendars, this clock, and you can just look it up online there, Cancer, if you want to know what time the planetary hours are, and because otherwise there's an equation, it's a whole thing. But yeah, looking at this energy, Cancer, but great day for sharing your information, maybe going on a trip there, Cancer, or maybe booking a trip, however that may be looking like for you. It's also a great day to go void, of course, Cancer, because the moon is doing the same. The moon is going to be going void, of course, Cancer, at about 1:39 a.m., and that will be Pacific time, and then she will be moving. Oh, of course, I see. We're going to be doing that on a Jupiter day, Cancer. How appropriate. Thank you, guys. But, yes, the moon is going to, and then she'll be moving from Leo into Virgo on Friday, the 23rd, at about 5:37 p.m. So we're looking at a pretty lengthy one. We're looking at about a 39-hour, 58-minute void, of course. And I feel like that's part way too, just because, this big build-up for this new moon. I don't know about you, Cancer, but since the sun entered Pisces, I will say, like, literally that following day, like, since that day, I've been feeling definitely different. When right as the sun enters, like, anytime a planet enters, like, it first enters an air sign or first enters a mutable sign, it hits my moon sign immediately. So, yeah, since that, like, I've been feeling, like, noticeably different. Like, it's very interesting. But this is a time with the void, of course, to kind of check in, considering we're having such very lengthy ones. We just had a 39-hour one when the moon was in Cancer in our energy. And so, I feel that with this void, of course, energy, it's interesting even just thinking about, I was just kind of getting that download of where it's like when you go from Cancer energy into Leo, in Cancer, you're in this home energy in a sense, but I feel like that more so kind of goes more where, yes, Cancer can be about the home, but I feel like your home starts, because I feel like Cancers can make themselves anywhere at home. I feel like does start with this vessel, because this is where we're the safest is internal here, or in this vessel here, Cancer. And that's where I feel the imagination plays, and that connection to where all the emotions happen and things. It's a very we're a very internal type of energy. Very Can be very subjective, very imaginative, very it's a very unique energy, with ours. And then to go to take all that inner world and then to express it outwardly, and like, because Leo is that development of expression, of personality, of just finding how they are, that building that sense of ego. And so I feel just like it's like maybe with these energy shifts going from something maybe being more internal to being more outwardly expressed, if that's something that's maybe resonates with you, Cancer, then just make sure to just kind of check in with that. Do some meditation to get yourself grounded if things have been feeling a lot, if you've been feeling if it's been maybe even overwhelming, because we are again very receptive to the energies there, Cancer. That's kind of why it's almost like we need this shell in a sense. It's like to be exposed to that all the time would be a whole lot. So I feel like it's just making sure you set up like calming things for yourself. This could be maybe doing some sound healing. I got a nice little bell over here. Maybe do some occasional things, or doing some breathing exercises. Maybe do some cooking, possibly do some physical activities. Maybe this is some yoga. Whatever this may be looking like. Going for a walk, Cancer. Going to go touch a tree. Get involved in some nature. Just doing some simplistic things. Unplug for a moment. Allow yourself to kind of recuperate. And the thing too with this void of course energy is that since it happens when the moon forms her last aspect in that energy, in that sign, and then she's just good until she moves into the next one. And this can be a tough time too to start things up there, Cancer, just because there's not that lunar energy that's there. So because you got to think, she moves a lot and going through the signs and going through the different phases and stuff. That's a lot of energy to unpack, and to deal with, unpack emotionally, and to process that subconsciously, and then to see how that is reflecting in your objectively there, Cancer. So yeah, just something to be very mindful of. And that's just dealing with your stuff there, Cancer. That's not even talk about the stuff that you pick up from other people around you as well. And sometimes that can be very difficult. And I feel like it's in that wanting to help and wanting to nurture that. In order to understand it, we get in that part almost there, Cancer, and to really kind of get that. So I feel like that's, be careful how long you dip in that energy, and just make sure, that you're filling up your cups before you're pouring you don't want to pour from an empty well with the void of course energy, or just in general there, Cancer. And then with the moon, I know we just kind of went in there, Cancer. I was actually meditating on this waxing gibbous moon in Leo that we're still in there, Cancer. And first thing that I wanted to kind of talk about with this is that this could bring up an energy, Cancer, of, I feel this, like, again, kind of heightened sense of awareness. I feel like Pisces energy, because where the sun is at, the dispositor of where our ruler's at, the moon, he's in Pisces. And so there is this mix of kind of this Leo and this Pisces energy that's kind of going on here right now. And it's like we're processing this costume, this Pisces costume that the sun has from a Leo perspective, or like kind of internal thing. And so you have Leo who's building this sense of ego, this sense of self, and then Pisces detaches from that. And I feel like that's what's happening here, Cancer. It's this observation of what you're building in this realm, how you really interact with it, really being present with what's going on with you, but not let it to be where it's like we're taking the joy out of it or anything. I don't want this to become where it's like in a sort of nihilistic or apathetic type of energy, Cancer, because Leo is the happiness, the joy, the reminder, even the moon. That shows where we want to, what are our emotional needs? Where do we find joy? What brings us safety, protection, comfort? And so I feel this can be one where we can just learn to enjoy the process a little bit, come a little more mindful, a little more, hopefully a lot more. You considering this sun is hitting up your Cancer placements, and maybe if you have some mutable placements, or this is bringing a lot of compassion too. I feel this kind of interaction that's going on here, and the moon is getting ready to have this full, and we're going to talk about that more tomorrow there, Cancer. But I just feel this can be a one of where we're learning to love the experience that we're going through, Cancer, find the joy. And if there are spots that could use a little more love, a little more excitement, a little more passion, because Leo again is very present, very much in the now, because now has so much to give. It's like how can that's where that inner child comes in. Leo kind of views, I know they're associated with the king, but really it's like it is more so like an inner child, that childlike energy that just there's just possibility in everything. So I even feel like just kind of seeing this experience with a bit more wonder there, Cancer. And I know with all the things that are going on, but trying to find like little pockets of joy in that, so we're not just, so we can stay motivated in this journey there, Cancer. It's not to blind ourselves from things, but that's what I got for you there on all those lunar shenanigans, Cancer. But last couple of things. Oh, and if you will, actually one more thing, Cancer. If you want to see how these energies are interacting in your chart there, Cancer, book a reading with me. I do transit analysis to see where the planets are at, see what questions can maybe come up, how we can work with these energies, to see, because I'll tell you what, Cancer, it is very fascinating. Even just with how my energies are lining up now, I have a lot of stuff is going on with my Saturn placement, which is in Aquarius at the 4th degree, and Mars and Venus are forming that conjunction, so they're having this conversation while also squaring my midheaven. It's doing a lot, so so that's why, yeah, definitely it's been a very just kind of subjective sort of week, just kind of really just a lot of reflection and a lot of questions and slight dissonance. I'm in a lot of squares and oppositions right now, so that's cool, but it makes it so at least I can kind of look to this, and it does line up with all the things that I'm thinking about. It's just like, and it's just like, how could that have translated better? How could I have shown up a bit more? And just get you thinking about this. Yeah, just really thinking about this stuff a little bit differently there, Cancer. So if that's something that you would be curious about knowing more, there is a link down in the description box, but there's also a link for my Instagram, because I'm posting stuff there, Cancer, regularly. I know I hardly recognize myself too. And also, there's a link in my bio. I think that's what it's called there, Cancer. You're navigator of Instagram. I believe in you. And then also down in the description box are and the decks I'm working with. It's like, that's what happens when I go off script there, Cancer. And the decks I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box, actually, except, like, I had a couple that I need to include. I got to get back up on that. But check that out if you're interested there, Cancer. But also down below some links for some other readers that I enjoy watching. I think you'd enjoy them too. They're really, really just fantastic group there, Cancer. Also, there's a link for an astrologer that I enjoy watching. There's a link for a couple of podcasts that I really dig. And I'm actually going to include their YouTube as well. I just happened to look that up. And then there's some links for some apps that I like working with there, Cancer. So avail yourself of all these goodies. It's just loaded for you. But let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day, Cancer. Because look at you, we are still learning. Because you got that immerse yourself card here, Cancer. I promise I shuffle these cards beforehand. And this is a card of training, learning, new hobbies, and passions. So Leo, and that's interesting that it's happening in this Leo energy. Did we have this yesterday, Cancer? I don't think we did. But I feel like with this happening in this Leo energy, Leo is one of expression. And it's however yes, that leads to this sense of creativity, because I feel they get known as that type of sign because they get to essentially, they're building who they are. They're here to discover who I am, and what does that mean, like who I am, in even like again, even in relation to this grander scheme of things. How does this experience contribute to the whole? What things do I need to immerse myself in? Have I been forcing something? Have I been wanting to learn, teaching myself how to play chess because that's what all my buddies do, but maybe I'm not interested in that? Maybe I want to go play hockey, or maybe I want to go paint, or maybe I want to go become a librarian, whatever that's looking like. But I feel that, especially with this Leo here, I feel like this is nice that this is happening in Leo, because this gives you a chance to express this. And when it gets to Virgo, Virgo takes when Leo kind of figures out a direction, gets that solidified, then Virgo is that mastery of that skill. That's where you get into a practice. So that's where Virgo is not just like because I'm excited to kind of talk about this full moon, because Virgo is not just the routines, the day-to-day stuff. It's more so their sign of mastery, and that's what we're getting to. I feel like it's like, what do we need to, again, like, I feel like release maybe in order to get to this state of this perfection, quote unquote, in a sense. But I feel this is you, Cancer, kind of, again, with this immersing in yourself. I feel like this for some is learning who you are, doing a deep dive, and exploring some new passions, some new hobbies, doing some things that you may have secretly wanted to do. Maybe you've wanted to go bungee jumping somewhere. Maybe you've wanted to try a certain food, a certain thing. I feel like this Leo energy is kind of like live in the now. Of course we have responsibilities and things, but for some, I feel like if you got a bucket list, we're not promised next week, and again, not to be in this a state of morbidity, but just more so in a state of bliss and joy, and incorporating a bit more, kind of bring a little more sunshine into your day there, Cancer. And I do even feel for some, though, that there is this, it's like two things. It's like either for some, so it's either for some, it's this learning, taking this hobby and maybe even potentially doing something with it. This could be something that we're integrating. Maybe you are wanting to become a librarian, or maybe you want to become a writer, or maybe you want to go work with animals, but something here that is going to require you maybe to learn more, do a little studying there, Cancer. Whatever that's looking like. Maybe you wanted to learn more about spirituality, about meditation, about healing modalities, being that we are such excellent healers, Cancer. So at least that Cancerian energy can be so. And Cancer, if you happen to know your chart that well, like I say, look into, it's like, look at your Cancer places, and I feel like it's like, where can you, I feel like, learn more about that. I feel like, where could you be, a bit more subjective, a bit more, not critical, but where can we show a bit more compassion, maybe express that art in a more type of healing type of way there. Mercer's like, it's like operating more intentionally, I feel, is what this is doing here. But really kind of investing in yourself there, Cancer, kind of like a Seven of Pentacles type of energy, or even like an Ace of Pentacles. But alrighty, guys, let's see what's going on here. Oh, look at all these pentacles, Cancer. I'm with it. Oh. So, I love when Spirit does that. So, you have the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Knight of Swords in reverse. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And I like this. Speaking of Virgo, you got the sun in Virgo here, and I do feel like that when you think about ballerinas and dancers in general, that takes a lot. It takes a lot of commitment, a lot of exercise, both in their studio and outside of that too. And I do feel like this is you getting a bit, finding a ways to I feel like almost like kind of fill up your time there, Cancer. I feel like what this Seven of Pentacles is giving me this, and listen, this if you want, I feel with this King of Pentacles here, I feel like this is not adding on more burdens on yourself there, Cancer. This isn't just being busy for busy's sake. It's just like how can we more efficiently, Eight of Pentacles, maybe enjoy our day. And I feel like in that, this King of Pentacles is giving me this King of Pentacles is giving me this energy of you don't have to commit to something where it's like, again, we don't have to think of how can I make a dime off of this. Again, if you want to, you can, but it is more so just the pursuit of, I feel like, who am I? When was the last time that I pushed myself? What has been motivating me here as of late? And what are some, I feel like, what do, like, not necessarily what do I plan for the future, but what is it that, where I almost feel like we feel kind of resistance in there, Cancer, because I feel like there's something that we may need to learn a bit about ourselves. So this this Ten of Wands, it's almost like you've been wanting to do, let's say, for example, you've had this, let's say, for example, like a leak is what I'm getting. Let's say there's a leak somewhere in the ceiling. I hope you don't have a leak there, Cancer. But you've been meaning to look up different ways to do this, different ways to, and you've been just kind of putting up, because it's never been bad enough. It's never been where it's an issue. It might be at most an inconvenience, which we can deal with that. But something happens over time, and then it becomes something that you can't ignore anymore. And I feel like that's a weird, like, I don't want to say weird example, but that's an example that's coming up. But if that's something that's resonating with you there, Cancer, I feel like it's something like, if you've been putting something off, I feel like take that burden off here, take it off your checklist. Let's stop carrying that on. Let's put the energy towards it. Let's start putting, the tens are closure, so let's start putting like a close maybe on this dream. Or maybe you've been saying, I've been wanting to go back to school possibly, and I feel like you don't have to go like the traditional way here. We got online stuff, and we can do all types of, it's a whole new age here, Cancer. But all right, let's get some more on this. You know, Cancer, because even thinking about the Seven of Pentacles, that's Saturn in Taurus. And, ooh, Cancer, I love that. Hold on. That's Saturn in Taurus. And I feel there's some we may have been almost restricting our self-worth in a sense. Ooh, love her energy. Hold on there, Cancer. I almost feel like we've been restricting ourselves, and I feel like there's this energy, something here of just about, have we do the things that you value, just thinking about with us still being in this kind of Taurus energy too, with Uranus and Jupiter being there for a little while longer. Just like how we've been investing in ourselves, how have we seen, just how have things turned up for you, Cancer, and how can we move? Oh, Uranus is in the house. Let me tell you what card you got here, Cancer. Because you have the Fool, Uranus, the Queen of Swords, that's Libra for me, and the Page of Swords in reverse. Then you have I love this Queen of Wands. She's got to be I love her energy. And then here we are, Cancer, the Chariot. Let's talk about the Chariot, Cancer. Because I feel that this energy is momentum. This is moving things forward, and I feel like if, again, whatever hobbies, passions, things, there's no time like the present. And this is, I don't mean, and you may not have to necessarily do it like right this moment, but make a plan like, okay, every Monday, maybe at this time I'm going to do X, or maybe do this a few times, maybe a few times every day I'm going to do this. It's something here that I feel may be a little uncomfortable at first. There may not be like a clarity of how we're going to be able to do it, and I feel like we're getting too stuck maybe on the how, like the ideas of it with the pages. So you got almost got the whole sword family here. And I feel it's like we may be too in our heads about it, and that's what's preventing you from maybe taking this leap, or I feel like it could even be for some, it's like you're feeling maybe these urges to take this leap, but it's just like we're not even sure why, though. We're in it, and it's just like, what is this adding? And I feel for the answer for some may be hopefully this excitement here. And because the Queen of Wands, she's very passionate. She's one that goes. There's this childlike energy that comes. There's this, it's very fun. It's very innocent. The Queen of Wands is for me is Aries energy, and Aries energy is one that I'm learning. It's such a fascinating energy, and there is this kindness that is there. There is this, and it's not a weakness. It's more so. It's spring. It's interesting to put into words there, Cancer, when I think about that Aryan frequency. But I do feel that what she is bringing is life. She's wanting to bring in passion. She's wanting to bring in, something to get the blood boiling, and not aggressive, but just something to get where she's feeling excited, this lust for life, this full energy here. And I've even heard a reader compare this to Aries energy too, which I'm kind of with. I'm almost picking up what they're putting down on that one, and yeah, I feel that this is because even thinking too, Cancer, even just looking at this kitten on her dress, kitten. Look at how this kitten is just so just excited so easily, just everything again, that wonder, that awe. There's something always that life exciting that life has to offer here. So I feel like it's pursuing that, and I feel too this Page of Swords is for some giving me this kind of open mind, having this open mindedness. Like it may not, and even if you're, because you do got quite a bit of people here that you've turned all of them down except the lovely Queen of Wands. So she's going to be the one you say yes to, Cancer. If you've been getting invitations to go out places and maybe we've been putting them off because, Cancer, maybe we've been feeling some type of way. Maybe we've been just kind of been in the, kind of lost in the consciousness and in the subconscious, and now it's time to come out and interact there, Cancer. So you got a Queen of Wands, and within reason there, Cancer. We're being mindful, but you got a friend or someone that's inviting you out. Entertain it, Cancer. But let's get some advice from the Sun. All right, Cancer. Thank you. Last little bit here. Yeah, all right, Cancer. So you have the five of Cups, the Six of Cups, the King of Cups, and then the Star card all in reverse here, Cancer. And let's switch back over. Because, I do feel with that Six of Cups, I do feel like that can be for somewhere, especially if you've been feeling like you've been in sort of the same old thing. There hasn't been any sort of new type of fresh sort of things. I feel this is something here that is challenging. You just doing something where you're creating more experiences. Go sharing experiences with other people. Go feel things that you've never just experienced before. Because, excuse me, I feel with the Star card being here, this is Aquarius energy. And I just feel that there's been this maybe kind of following potentially. One thing with Aquarius energy at a low expression is that they can lose themselves in the crowd. They can lose that sense of individuality. And so I feel like that's one thing that's kind of coming through their Cancer, to do some things that fill up your cup in a sense, and not be mindful of being, I feel with the King of Cups being here, a little too maybe self-sacrificing. Maybe even been this place where we need to draw different type or maybe new type of boundaries here with the Five of Cups being here. And I feel this is something where we may feel something about that maybe separation at first, but it's something that as we process it, Cancer, and grow from it, because the star card can be a card of healing as well. And maybe this is something where we just need to process it, kind of heal it. We may not see how it's working for us in the grand scheme, but it is there, Cancer. And I think that's all I made. I think that's all I got for you, Cancer. Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. With the star card being Aquarius energy, you know, Aquarius is. I'm thinking about when it comes to learning, and that gets into like Mercury's territory, and Mercury is the higher octave, or excuse me, Uranus is the higher octave of. Oh, and I love that too. How you got Uranus and Aquarius here, Cancer, but yeah, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. And so I feel like it is when we're, for someone, it's like when we're immersing ourselves. I feel like how she has this book floating above her head. I feel like this is you tapped into the kind of subconscious there, Cancer, getting in that, because you finished off with a lot of intuitive energy here. And I feel that this is you kind of again really kind of being like just extra receptive there, Cancer. Again, not too, when it feels like it's too much, ground yourself, kind of, but I feel like there's this openness that is kind of happening there too with this energy too here, Cancer. And even for some, I feel like if we are healing for something, last thing, because something that comes before the star is the Tower. And if we're healing from something, Cancer, maybe we had a situation that didn't go well in the past, we're kind of hung up on that, been, really kind of feeling out of sorts. Like this, and again, this is not something to distract yourself, but I feel like finding, again, a healthy way to process some of these feelings, I feel could be a new hobby or something could be very beneficial for that. So just, not medical advice or anything along those lines, Cancer, but just something to think about. But I think I'm going to leave that there, Cancer. So if any of that resonated with you, Cancer, if you like that, give it a thumbs up. And share this thing, Cancer, if you know someone who's been either been needing to find a new hobby or learn a new passion, or yeah, Cancer is very, very fascinating. But then subscribe there, you star, you chariot. Hit that bell button to get notified of these videos each day. And then last little bit there, Cancer, check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus placements. Maybe we can see maybe you got some planets in the fifth house there, Cancer. Maybe that you could find out how you actually have. I have Uranus in the fifth house there. Uranus in Capricorn in the fifth house there, Cancer. But and that's something too, Cancer. If you're not sure how that translates, that's something you can come check out with me there, Cancer. And yeah, we can learn a lot about that, and that might be something too. Immerse more in your. And I love that when the energy's okay. Look at it again. You're trying to grow there, Cancer. But yeah, definitely check that out if that's something that resonates with you. I would be. It's been an experience. I've been really enjoying it, and yeah, hopefully to work with you here soon, there, Cancer. And oh, after we're done checking your chart, come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos there, which like talks about the transits that are going on for the week and how that may affect you. I'm still getting a groove for that. Like how, because I'm so used to just doing the tarot, so I'm like, oh, this reminds me of Six of Cups. I actually had a situation I did that. I was like, it's fine. But yeah, definitely check that out. I have I call it the weekly download, and then there is the Celestial News Monthly. So there's that one. I'll be actually starting the videos for those. We still got a little while. Cancer. And then I do yearly ones as well. I just did Pisces not too long ago, so if you got any Pisces placements, check out that video there, Cancer. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. I love it. You got the Ace of Swords here, Cancer. And I feel with this Ace of Swords here, this is the universe presenting you with some ideas. some things that you may want to get some training in. Maybe you want to learn how to fly a helicopter. Maybe you want to learn how to jump out of a helicopter. Maybe you want to go scuba diving, Cancer. I feel this is a time to let your mind run, and just like and get ready to just like try something new, try something you've never done before, something way out of left field. Uranus Aquarius energy, just real unique, no matter like, and of course, within your own boundary level there, Cancer. But someone's like, hey, let's go to you want to go to a theme park with me? It's like, bet. I remember doing that years ago. Someone was just like, I just gotten off working like a midnight shift, and they're like, hey, my friend canceled and I don't have anyone to go with, like, do you want to go? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was off the next day, like, bet, let's I don't do roller coasters, but for you, I'll do them. So, and I had a great time there, Cancer. So just something to think about, I feel, with that Ace of Swords there. But let me get your other oracle card here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. Alright, take it. Guys. Oh, look at this, Cancer. All right, so you have the first quarter moon in Sagittarius card here, which is a card of believe in your good luck. And, Cancer, and that's interesting. I was thinking about this. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier with the Pisces energy, but Pisces and Sag are both, their traditional ruler is Jupiter. And Jupiter is, associated with luck. And Sag usually gets majority of that. When you think about them, they'll get the blunt. Sure, you'll hear like they'll talk about the honesty and whatnot, but a lot of their luck gets attributed to them. But I feel like it can be missed in Pisces. I feel like good luck is because Sagittarius, they're not immune to things going south. It's like it's not really about luck. I feel like it comes down to faith in what you kind of believe in. Of course, circumstances, of course, can be different, Cancer, but that's where Pisces comes in. And if you have Pisces in 12th house placements, you may be able to kind of understand that, where it may resonate with you, where something in the moment, it can seem awful, and it's like, because Pisces can deal with, because that's where the sun's at. Remember, we're talking about with the dispositor where the moon's at right now. And yes, there can be that sort of escapist tendency they're associated with. The Pisces associated with like drugs and drinking and, asylums, like all types of stuff, like really like the not, like what can seem like not so great stuff there, Cancer, but it's also a recognition that all that stuff, their experiences, they're all happening for a higher calling. And I know how that sounds there, Cancer. I have a few things in the 12th house, and it's like, it's one of those things where they're blessings in disguise, and they do teach you compassion for others. And you do there's gifts in that. And I feel like that's where the luck is, because then when you give from that place without expecting, just with this sense of healing, and it's a different experience. Like, I feel like that's where the abundance comes in. It's not a matter of good or bad, it's just energy. You could see losing all your money as an opportunity to, that's perfect. I've been wanting to go off to just live off the grid anyway. Like it's very fascinating. So, but I do feel like this is believing in, even when things feel like kind of low there, Cancer, not to forget the joy, and remembering that there's always a lot to learn in this experience. And I feel like it's trying not to drown in this reality, but immersing yourself into it, understanding that what's happening is that your awareness is growing of things, of this idea of luck and stuff there, Cancer. So, and I just feel like just a lot of growth can happen again, and now we can find these moments for our passions, our desires. But I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. But you stay safe out there. all this new training that you're getting. A Cancer. I mean, we're Cancerian energy. We're leveling up. I feel it. Cancers are really coming out the woodwork, and it's fantastic. We're about to do some great. We're about to raise the vibration to the roof there, Cancer. I'm pumped. And you keep eyes on the moon. Feel the moon out there. We're getting ready to be in the full moon there, Cancer. Getting ready to think about because after, we celebrate what we've grown, but the moon energy is also that energy of release. So we're thinking about what do we want to start making space for? What do we want to let go of and make space for the next lunar cycle to come through there, Cancer? So something to ponder. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.